All right. I went ahead and cleaned my table, cleaned the chalkboard, and got my erasers together. And my chalk is in the right direction, in the right places here in the Academy of Wildman. And the books are organized as they should be. So I'm going to go ahead and take a swig of my red pill. So open up the door for you. Someone asked the question, how many red pills can you digest a day where it will become dangerous for you psychologically, where it can bombard you with too much information? And how often should you basically take it in without it affecting your life heavily? My suggestions with my channel and maybe other red pill providers is this. Too much information can transform your mind. And you can actually, as some people say, binge on it. This academy here isn't for clickbait, and it's not to entertain you. So when you are going for entertainment, what entertainment does is you can sit there and let's just say watch a movie for 2 hours and continue to watch a different channel. You switch channel to channel to channel. Or you can entertain yourself in a party or something like that for a good 4 hours or 5 hours. And you can deal with that and get nothing from it. You'll get nothing from it. But with something that's not based on entertainment, but is based on knowledge and awakening your mind, it's a concentration of information that takes time for you to digest. You're going to need time to think about what the teacher or the professor is saying. You may not engorge upon the information immediately, but life itself, your reality, your world, your environment, your social construct will show you exactly what the professor is saying. And in this case, I am your professor in this case. And so what I would suggest for those who ask me that question is at least one a day, at least one red pill a day. You're going to learn something, and every day you should learn something. You should evolve every day to something different. And with my audios, there's always something different, even from the first audio to now. That's why my suggestion is always go back to the first audio, work your way up to the current. You're not missing anything. You know, the information's there, and it only helps you to understand more about what I speak about currently. And with my audios, which extend to at least an hour, maybe an hour, 20 minutes, sometimes 50, I try to break it down to 30 to 35 minutes, but it never works out. But that'll give you something to do. Whether you're on your job, you're working somewhere, you're driving from one location to the next, you're going to a business meeting, whatever you're doing. You know, usually that hour or that the 50 minutes should be good enough to keep you entertained when you're washing your car or physically active. And so when you take your time at it, you know there's going to be another audio available for you the day after. You just go from one audio to the next. It's like turning into chapters of the book. So one day you listen to one, the next day you listen to the other, and you keep going. And you'll be surprised how many of these audios you would have under your belt by the end of the month or the end of the 2-month period. And therefore you will be fulfilled. Whereas you're taking that red pill in that moment, and you'll rummage on that for the rest of the day. You'll think about it. You will digest the positives of it, and therefore you're ready for the next level or the next grade, 1st grade to 12th grade, and you begin to understand why I call this the Academy of Wildman, because you're not going to just get it all at one time. And people who are frustrated, usually they're frustrated with themselves. And I always teach that in my in my psychology circles that people who are usually, when they're in a debate situation or conversation and they get a red face or their temperature starts getting hot and they don't want to listen to what an individual is saying, they're usually frustrated because they really don't comprehend what that person is saying. There's no need to be angry. There's no need to get out of place with yourself. If you are digging into the information, you begin to realize, oh, either this person is a fool or they're saying something that makes sense. And therefore you're able to move on and live your life. You see? So I'm going to go ahead and get into the message of religious insanity. And a lot of people are very sensitive about it. So I always have to remind you and let you know that it is not a specific person. I'm not pointing my finger, nor do I inspire, as what some of you who are sensitive think, hate speech or attacking anyone of any culture or of any kind. You should know this. You've listened to me all this time. The proof is in the pudding. Just go back to chapter 1 and you'll realize what Morpheus is all about. But I will tell you this from my experience of when it comes to religion, prayer, and God. I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'm going to tell you my experience. Then I'm going to tell you the story here, which is a true story in this part 7. When I was 22 years old, I was thoroughly into the church. This faith, they call it, was the Christianity. And I flipped back and forth to Baptist, met a few people from the Islamic faith, or you can say Muslim. Okay. Dated a couple of Catholics. And I was quite diligent because I thought that was the realm of knowledge. Listen to what I'm saying. I thought that was the key to life and death. I thought being thick in the understanding of God concerning the indoctrination was going to get me closer to the identity of God. But I did not know that over a time period, the tools I was using was the indoctrinated tools, the books, the teachings from the pastors. What other people said was what I was thriving in. And I had to realize that the hard way by questioning real life, the outside world, and the science of earth. Because I did exactly that. The preacher or the minister would speak a word, I'll go test it. I'll test it. And I always will hold tight to what they said and think that I'm being faithful and I am honorable in the eyes of God because I'm abiding by their indoctrination. So I was thinking I was on right ground and everybody else was devils. People were evil. Men and women alike would come to me and tell me facts. Older men, wise men would try to steer me in the right direction and try to give me words of wisdom. But in my mind, I was like, well, you're not religious. You don't love God like I do. How can you tell me? You are a sinner. I'm this perfect person because I'm in the church and you're not. So it went on for quite some time where men and women of all walks of life would tell me things that were mind blowing, that had nothing to do with the Bible, had nothing to do with the indoctrinated program, and definitely have nothing to do with what the preacher said. And I'm thinking this person's worldly. This person is a devil worshiper. Why would I care about the devil's children? That's in my mindset. And you'll be surprised how many other people think like that too. Because they feel like you don't have a minister's badge because you're not pastor so-and-so, because maybe you're not doctor pastor so-and-so, or because you don't have a church. They don't want to listen to you. They look at you as the outsider. You're the sinner. You're part of the world because you don't go to their church. You're part of the world because you're not indoctrinated like they are. You're part of the world because you're not donning the robe and singing in their choir. So they look at you and be like, yeah, they're a joke. I'm special because I am underneath the cathedral of the blood of God. That's in their mind. Right? Mary is protecting us. The blood of Mary. Okay? Now let's go further with the facts here. So the struggles began while I was wrestling with myself, whereas people were speaking facts. They were coming from scientific perspectives. They were telling me exactly what was going on in the world. I just didn't want to accept it because I was going by my indoctrinated mind. I would say, well, the pastor said, Corinthians said, Luke said, but in Genesis, I don't understand. In the Quran chapter this said, in the Quran chapter so and so said. I'm like, oh, no. I can go to the priest and just, confess my sins and I'll be okay. I can douse my forehead with water. I don't have to go up here and get dunked in this full tub full of cold water. Why do it? So back and forth. Thoroughly. You think that, well, I was just a jack of all trades, but master of none. You'll be wrong. You'll be wrong if you talk like that. Not Morpheus. No. This ain't a sprinkle type of experience. This is experience where I'm sitting down, listening, learning, and saying, okay, I can live this life. Okay. But it never satisfied me. Actually, it always conflicted with real life. And I didn't know it was because it was a programmed indoctrination. I didn't know because it was gossip, not gospel. I didn't know that it was because of that I was trained to think a certain way. I didn't know. So that's what caused me to wrestle night and day. Wrestling with myself. Frustrated, mad, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Every time you see me, I had a scowl on my face. I would disconnect myself from people. I was antisocial because I was the one person walking around with books underneath my arms where every other guy in person was just sitting there, probably with a cigarette or, their clock on their arm and a little bit of, their flip phone, chilling out, laughing. And I'm thinking at them like, they're lost. They're sinners. I'm the perfect person because I got this indoctrinated book underneath my arm and I'm reading it every time I got a chance to. Lunch hour, break hour, breathing hour, luncheons. But that began to separate me from the world. Isn't that what the church wants? Isn't that what they talk about? Separate yourself, come up from underneath them and separate yourself from them. It literally happens. It happens where I was isolated from people, friends, associates, comrades, people that were good to be around, but because I didn't believe in them to be a part of my indoctrinated religion, I looked at them like they were beneath me. I was like, oh, please. They're evil people. They're smoking, laughing, and cursing. I'm like, oh, they're just so evil. They're just so evil. But they were just regular people, but I didn't know that. So there came a day where I had enough with my struggles. I had enough. I was tired of dealing with myself as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I was tired of questioning the heavens and people coming to me and debunking my plans. I had enough of people telling me facts that I didn't want to accept. I'm like, who's this girl? Who's this woman telling me? Who's this man saying? Who does he think he is? He don't love you like he's not about God. He's not a Christian. He's not a Muslim. He don't have no, who's he? He don't even go to church every day. He stays at home playing golf. How's he going to tell me about the world? This is my mindset. This is the cognitive dissonant mindset. This is when you know that you need to question what you believe in. This is when you are getting a reflection of why is this happening. So it's the neutral, it's in between hot or cold. You need to know what's going on. So I said, you know what? I'm tired. There's only one prayer I gave to nature, to the universe. One prayer. And at the time, I had to label it as God because that's all I knew. So I did this. I said, and I think I was driving at the time. I said, God, I am tired. I need answers. I said, show me the way. Show me what I need to know. Show me what I need to know. Okay. But I was talking about the universe. I'm not talking about some sky daddy with the white beard and no, not gesture. No, I wasn't all about that. I said, universe, I need an answer from tell me. like Bruce Almighty when he was driving and he held on the prayer beads that Grace gave to him. He said, I need an answer. And the prayer beads fell and he reached underneath the dashboard and flashing lights came. No, but that didn't happen to me. What happened was knowledge. Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. Listen. What happened was knowledge. Listen. God did not come down and say, I'm going to sacrifice my son that you may have eternal life. No. I know a lot of you probably flipping right now. Chill out. Chill. Let Morpheus finish what I got to say. No, God did not send a pastor or a pulpit pimp to be spitting over a stinky microphone to scream in my ear and beat me on top of the head with a programmed indoctrination to tell me to be a blue pill beta with a tight suit pants on and a suffocating tie on Sunday to Sunday and stand there like a little girl. No, it didn't. See, I'm switching it around. I stopped saying he now. Listen carefully. The energy of God, stage 3, start honing on my energy to focus on what people were saying and listen to them and research what they say and take them at their word. Meaning, if they're talking, listen and say, okay, instead of me fighting you, I'm going to hear you out and I'm going to study what you say because you may be right and I'm going to accept the fact that I just might be wrong. Humbling myself. So the energy of the universe, I hope you're listening here, stage 4. The energy of the universe, nature, taught me in its own energy and verses to humble myself and accept nature and open up my eyes. And accept, therefore, the expression will be, if you understand knowledge, you will open up thine eyes. Basically, no need to pray. Don't pray. Listen, this was a red pill that still lasts forever. This is a universal red pill. If you want to call God, I told you, call God nature and the universe, not some sky daddy or some two-legged bipedal species called a human being that you idolize. I said the universe. The universe sent me a red pill that did last for all eternity. That still today, I never needed to get back on my knees. Never once did I need to say any. It was the river. It was me sitting at the river. And the universe was in the form of what you think gesture is and said, okay, you will never thirst again. I never did. I never did. And I'm going to tell you why. I went to a Thanksgiving and the family members there were praying over the food, as you typically see some Christians do and church people. Let's pray over the food for thanks and to take the purities out of the food that doesn't make us sick, basically. You know, they have a special prayer. You know, please God, I pray over the food to make sure that it gives us nutrition. Right? Take out the impurities. Thank you and blessings and blah, 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 blah. But what caught my attention through it all is when they said, take out the impurities of the food and make it wholesome for us. And at the time I was praying, but I had one eye open and one eye closed. I was like, wait a minute. What's this? This is my instincts. This is the instinct going like this. Morpheus, 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 Morpheus. Like in a movie, I'm starting to wake up a little bit. That little bitty seed in the back of my head said, you know what? Research that. Research that. Don't stop praying. Shut your mouth. Go to a library, get a dictionary and research. Stop praying about it and research it first. I'm thinking, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And I started listening to some of my doctors said. Not doctors that were doctors over me, doctors I've learned under, and hearing from them. Okay. And studying from other content providers and people. Information start flowing in one day at a time. And I heard a person say, watch out for those GMOs. Watch out for the GMOs. And I was like, wait a minute, what's a GMO? What's this? So I started book reading, studying, thinking, right, way before the Thanksgiving dinner, way before that. This was after I was driving. I said, God, show me the way. Our universe, I need an answer. Right. I told you, the red pill that kept on giving. I'm telling you right now, I'm being honest with you. I never needed to ever be on my knees ever again. I never needed to look in the sky and say, God, I need to No. I never needed to go to a minister and say, pray for. No, I never said pray for me. After which I said that I never needed to turn around. It was always a thank you, of course, but it was never a I need help, because I received knowledge. So let's go forward with this, because I need to break this down and make it very, very simple. Because we're gonna do research today. Today, I expect that this is going to be groundbreaking, and I want it to be for many of you. Because this is going to be powerful for you. This and the Academy of Wildman, if nothing else that you've received, this should put wings on your back. Or just like the movie of the Matrix, just like what Neo did, he put the phone down and flew straight up vertically. This is what I want you to do. So when the food was passed around and the prayers was done with, I didn't say a word, right? I started questioning the food after them talking about, God, please take the impurities out of it. But all they had was a bowl of salad, right? But they had like store-bought food. They had like high fructose corn syrup pies, heavy breads with yeast, emulsifiers, right? Heavy butter. GMO, genetically modified. Everything was just pretty much out, macaroni and cheese. You know what you get during your Thanksgiving. And this questionable turkey, which wasn't all natural. I'm pretty sure it was injected with some type of hormones or something like that. Steroids to make it bigger. So I said, you know what? I pass. I'm just gonna. All right, no, let me get this. I'll get this nasty cranberry. It wasn't a cranberry sauce. This is another name for the other beets. Yeah, there's some beets. Nastiest thing on the table. But I'm gonna take that and got this bowl of lettuce. But I'm gonna get that. And they're like, wait a minute, you ain't gonna eat nothing? You're on a fast? I'm like, no, I'm not on a fast. Just no, I'm good. I'm changing some things a little bit. Then, of course, you got, two of the mothers sitting there talking about, oh, what's wrong? You don't like the food? We worked all day for it. And I said, well, I'm not here for the food. I'm here to socialize and say hello. Okay, be happy that at least I'm here. I'm not here for you to give me something. I'm not like a lot of people who are coming to you because I got my hands out. Okay, Christmas time, Thanksgiving, whatever it is, Easter Sunday. I'm not coming to you because I want you to feed me. I'm coming to you because I just want to say hello. I'm here. Here I am. Leon C, aka Morpheus, right? I don't need nothing from you. I'm only here to say hello. Be glad. Right? That should be like the number one thing, but a lot of people they don't think like that. They got food over there. Free food, here I come. Oh, they got, nacho cheese, they got pizza, junk. Right? So y'all get the picture, right? So, of course, I wasn't full. I wasn't fulfilled. I regretted not eating more, even though the food smelled good. I was regretting it. But hey, I went ahead and closed my nose while I was eating the beets. No sugar, just plain like, this stuff is, Want to go to the bathroom and, punch my stomach and, let it go. But I said, I'm going to deal with it. This is new. Eating this green type of, this is new. I'm gonna listen to what some of the outside professors were saying, and let's try this out. 2 days later, because it was that night, it was Thanksgiving, eating late, 7, 6 o'clock, something like that. I hear that a few of them got sick. Some of them have acid, what do you call that? Acid reflux, indigestion, just all sorts of, oh man. Another person had a bad case of diarrhea. Everything was basically food related. It was food related. Nothing that they prayed for helped them. Sitting there talking about, oh God, no. Oh God, take the impurity. No, it did not help them. But guess what? I didn't pray. And guess what? I came away scathe free. You say, okay, what was it? No, it was knowledge. Here's another case, knowledge. Because I knew what not to eat. Knowledge is what love offers. Knowledge is what the heavens give unto its people, such as the world, such as humanity. It's knowledge, not what y'all consider to be information, because y'all bombarded with all kind of information, right? And y'all got book taught indoctrination. That's not knowledge. It's book taught information. Okay. Your intellect isn't even based on your so-called knowledge. It's based on what you are being. Your intellect is programmable. Your intellect is like a computer node that you can punch in codes and create it to think a certain way. That's not knowledge. That's intellectual. But doing the intellectual venturing, your intellectual can be modified correctly by instincts if you are aware of yourself. If you're not indoctrinated, your intelligence can expand and it can be filtered properly and get attached to knowledge. If you're not indoctrinated, once you're indoctrinated, the indoctrination goes straight to your intellect. It goes straight to your intellectual lens and perception and attacks there first. And what happens is, who is attacked second? Your knowledge is attacked second, because you're thinking in your programmed intellect that your intellect is knowledge, and it's not knowledge. Knowledge is a form of knowing, and knowing is outside of indoctrination. You know things outside of what people say. And sometimes when you are a child, you just know things, and your knowing is attached and tethered to instincts. When instincts is gone, your knowledge is attacked. When your intellectual lens is being bombarded and indoctrinated by systems and what somebody else say, then you're done. You are cut like cattle. You're finished. Do you understand? That's why indoctrination is not the way to go. That's why you got to question. That's why you got to put the book down, go take a walk in nature, not through a programmed hallway somebody else put there and say, this is good for you. Go, Ralph. Go fetch the bone, Ralph. Okay, let's go further. I started getting into mechanics because I just like cars. I look at a car and I say, well, I know what can make this car better. Or what does it take to maintain this car? Okay. Or what a wise person would say, I like to look at something and see how I can make it better. I know I just said that, but some of y'all don't get it. But not like the current generation here and the cars they make now. They think they're making it better. They actually make it worse, weaker, smaller, more plasticky, more lightweight, more of a rubbish that's going to end up in your trash heap eventually. Okay. But once I began to do my knowledge and technical research and schooling and stuff like that, getting underneath the car, one of my, I'll call them sister, they're not blood related, from out of town, female friends that I've known for a long time, came in from out of town. And she wanted me to check out her car. And of course, some women, not all, aren't good with cars at all. They will drive it without oil in it. And I get that my customers that come to me that I service, if it's a man, he at least have his oil properly on the dipstick. If it's a female, I'm sorry. It's not an attack on you girls, but the majority of them, I'm lucky if I find one with the oil properly on the dipstick where it's supposed to be. or it's always going to be like 2 quarts low or 2 quarts above. You pull the dipstick out, the whole dipstick is full of oil. Like, dang, girl, did you stop somewhere? Do you realize that the whole engine is, he was like, what? Well, I just want to make sure that it wasn't going to run out of oil. God. All you had to do was change the spark plugs. Well, I didn't know where it was. Like, okay, you brought this car, you didn't research, you got the owner's manual, you got Google, you got search, and you don't know where the spark plugs are? Really? Why'd you buy the car? Oh, I guess other people can maintenance for me. I just want to drive it because I just want to drive it. Okay. All right, Bert. Okay. So, the group of people that we were with at the time, they wanted to go head out. Okay. It was going out of town for a convention or something like that. And all of them had their own vehicles. You know, one of them came to me because they heard from the birds and the bees somewhere that I knew something about cars. I wasn't all that great, but hey, thank you for the inquiry anyway. And the reference, I do my best, right? And I looked underneath the car and I realized there were a lot of oil streaks everywhere. One of them was a van. And it looks very questionable. And there was spots of antifreeze. You can see the little drip mark where the antifreeze was, right? And the steering wasn't so well in this car where you can drive it and the steering wheel shakes. And the group of people, there was one guy there. Lord have mercy. You know, one of the older guys who is like blue pill uncle, you know, little gray streaks in his head. So he thought he knew everything, right? You know, this bullheaded dude, right? And he was getting into the ministry staff. So you knew he thought he knew something. So a young buck like myself, you know, he's like, oh, please. You know, he think that he can probably run circles around me and beat me in a game of chess in a matter of a minute, right? So he said, you know, what do you think about the van over there? We can go ahead and take this van out. And, you know, I think it's going to be good for like, 300, 400 mile trip, something like that. So, what do you think? I said, no, that wouldn't be a good idea. You know, it's not in the right condition. I don't think you should do it. And, you know, it might overheat on you. You might start leaking oil. It might start, just no good. It's going to be burning the oil and fuel. And, you know, your steering might pop off on you because it's really not sturdy. That you want to be. The steering wheel is shaking. You know, that's really bad. You know, you got your tie rods and your ball joints. Jump in somebody else's car. You can take my friend's car. Or at the time I called her my sister from out of town and, you know, take this car. You know, it's a lot more. It looks more stable. It looks more suitable. You know, you should do that, right? And he's like, oh, that's okay. I'm blessed by the blood of God. I'll be okay. Here he is. Wait, here we are. Wait a minute. Slow down. He's like, no, you know, we're going to go ahead and, you know, we're going to pray about it. I'm going to go ahead and take it because that's all I got. Here he is, male pride again. You know, and here pulling out prayer once again. And he's standing there, you know, no matter how many crackers that he ate during communion, how many cheap bottles of Welch's juice that he drank. Okay, no matter how many pieces of silver and whatever silver and silver and gold that he decided to throw into the coffer's plate, right? No matter how close he think he's to the pastor and how honorable he think he is underneath the eyes, or I can call it disguise of God. Okay, don't mean that he need to be bullheaded and ignorant to, here we go, logic, knowledge, and reality. Knowledge, logic, and reality is a form of God. Knowledge, reality, and logic is a form of a superior mind, or of what true love is, and living as well, where you don't have to sit down on your knees and figure it out. You can figure it out by not sitting on your knees or sitting on your knees. You don't figure it out by closing your eyes and clapping your hands and say, I wish while you doing I'll be tapping keys and reading books and figuring it out for myself. While you on your knees, I'll be walking towards the library, figuring it out. While you playing games with Invincible Myth, whatever type of pipes you've been swallowing. However, But let's go further, because some of y'all, you probably getting fidgety right now. Morpheus, calm down. Y'all saying, okay, Morpheus, we know you. Like, okay, Morpheus, just get to the point. Okay, forgive me. So they do their little circle dance, praying, right? You know, oh, dear Heavenly Father, which art in heaven, you know, we can return, you know, bless us, and, you know, let's make sure that we're not going to, that my car make it there, you know, they're safe on the hedges and the highways. You know how they always do. Y'all been there. You know, you've been around people who do that. Hold on to the, you know, the crucifix and start doing the cross sign. I'm just going to pray and see. Humda, humda, humda. Like, I'm sitting there like, dude, I was over there. I was up there with my arm across the building, right? Just chilling. I'm like the bad boy in the back of the classroom with the jacket on. You know, like that movie Grease. y'all know that movie Grease? That was one of my favorite movies. Grease with, what's his name? Danny. I forgot what his name was. I'm sorry. But with Danny with the black jacket on, he had his, the Grease Monkeys. Oh, Grease Monkeys. With Sandy, that girl. You know, very good movie. And I'm chilling like him against the wall, right? Just cool as a cat. I was like, you know, look at these people. What a joke. Like, what the? Oh, John Travolta. That's his name. John Travolta. Really pretty good in that movie. Anyhow, and, you know, someone looking at me like, oh, you know, he's an outcast. You know, what's up with him? You know, he's a strange type of dude. I'm just chilling. I ain't got nothing in my pockets. Hands is clean. I'm cool. Like, okay, let y'all go ahead and have fun in your circus, right? So I walk up to him again because I feel that my instincts pin me, right? Because I got knowledge. I have the real power of God. I got what it means. I ain't got your book indoctrination. I got a head full of knowledge. So I'm saying, okay, listen, Mr. I'm gonna call him Mr. Bean. Listen, Mr. Bean, Mr. Bean, I'm gonna tell you one more time. You shouldn't drive that van, man. It's not good. You know, it's not a good idea, man. You know, yeah, no, man, I prayed for it. Here we go. I prayed on it. You know, God's going to protect me. God's going to make sure that this van is going to make it from all the way over here to New Orleans. I'm going to go to New York City and New Jersey. I'm like, listen, no, you don't. Okay. I'm like, okay, fine. No, just blatant out of your mind. So they start packing stuff up, getting things together. Okay. So my sister from out of town, I just called her. I told you that. She wanted to go with them. That's why she came from out of town. You know, she, being a close friend of mine and all that, and we're talking. And she's like, you know, I'm getting ready to head out with them. You know, what do you think? Can you watch my car? I'm like, yeah. I said, why don't you switch your car? Why don't y'all take your car? It's a lot more better than theirs. And it's better together. And I checked it, and, you know, your fluids is proper. I don't see, you know, steering wheel is tight. You know, it's solid. You know, tell them to take that van and going out there. Say, no, we're going to take the van because it's bigger. And it's, you know, let them drive their van. They want to just say, no, that van is not steady. It's not. So what are you talking about? You know, we're blessed. We prayed about it. You know, you don't trust God. I was like, no. It has nothing to do with God. It has a lot to do with knowledge. Okay. As a matter of fact, you do better off with knowledge first and then think about God second. Oh, what do you mean? You blasphemer. No. I said, hold on, y'all, especially you. Stop. Neo, stop playing. Just listen to what I'm saying before you start getting your panties in a bunch too. Okay? You who's listening to me. That's just the type of person I was. Real uncut. I don't play games. Like, you know, just deal with knowledge first. You know, do your hocus pocus game later. Right now, you need knowledge. Put a book in front of you and figure it out. Okay? Don't sit here on your knees. Walk with your feet. This was a statement from Marcus Garvey. He made sense. He said, instead of you sitting down on your knees the whole time, you need to get up and start walking with your feet. That was a very strong statement from Mr. Marcus Garvey. All respects. But we still want to do that. Well, I'm just going to pray about it. Well, I want to go and I think we'll be all right. Stop playing. I'm like, okay, fine. All right. Keep your car up here. Okay, I'm stay home. You're not coming, Mr. Little C? You're not coming, Little C? I'm like, no, no, because I see knowledge. Y'all see ghosts. Absolutely not. No, I'm going to be watching the TV with my seat. I'm going to see the television set. Okay, I'm gonna see what I need to do at home. I'm gonna be seeing to the books. I'm gonna be seeing to understanding what I need to do for my future. Why you're gonna be going ahead playing with smoke and mirrors and ghosts. Why you're gonna pretend to know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You got faith in what you think you know. You got belief in what you think you know. You don't know what you know. When you have knowledge, you don't need faith and belief. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? You don't need faith, nor do you require belief if you know what you are doing. I don't need to believe when I see a loose bolt. I don't need to have faith that this is a loose bolt. I can lift my hands up there and twist the bolt and feel it with my hands and see it with my bare eyes that it's a loose bolt. That's a logic that a lot of people don't comprehend. So I got to put it like that. I don't apologize for being raw. I really don't. You don't like it? Too bad. Go watch a female show. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Gotta be nice here. I had to bleep that out. But I'm telling you, listen. Woo, boy, I'm telling you. Check this out, though. So, Neil, they went and left anyway. Okay. So the day ends up being longer. I don't hear anything from them. My friend called me a couple of times on the way there to the convention, right? And it started getting darker. It was supposed to have been just for a few hours, but it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night now. They left at like 12, 1 o'clock. I'm like, wow. Are they having this much of a time? What are they doing? Shouting outside like Indians or not? I mean, I'm just being joking. I'm kidding. That's not what Indians do. It's just, cartoons, right? So I get a call from from Mr. Bean. I'm just gonna call him that. And he's like, Morpheus. I'm like, what? Okay. Oh, what's gonna how's things going at home? You okay? I'm like, yeah. Well, I got bad news. We're gonna be there in probably it might be a little while longer. We're stuck on the side of the road. The van overheated, and we got out, tried to check it out, and somebody ran in back of us. Now it's pretty much total. So I'm gonna have to hitch a ride to get up here. So I'll see you when I get there, and I'll talk to you later. Okay. Wow, really? Went to a church meeting with one of my friends, and she was a Muslim, and they didn't have as much knowledge as what we have today. But in her group, I don't know, they have a certain name for it. It was on a weekday night. I sat in at it and started talking for a little while. They was talking, not me, right? And one of the people that were speaking, they was talking about how we need to unify and bring people together, right? It sounds good, fine, right? Like we need to do more for the community. We need to have a better idea of what will be best for the families and the children. And let's do what's right and all this old good stuff, blah, 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 right? And at the end of the session, when it was all said and done, and I'm standing there, my friends start walking back towards me. They all looking at me all odd, but I'm always an odd person no matter where I am anyway. I never dressed the part. I never was that type of person where I want to be a part of. Ever since that Christian situation I told you about, standing there with some tight pants on and a tight tie, right? But most times you'd be like, well, this person don't fit in. But yet I'm there for the services, but I'm going to dress the way I want to. I don't care who you are. I'm going to dress what I want to, do what I want to do, whether you like it or not. I own my name. I own myself, not the organization or whoever the hell they think they are. Always been alpha. However, so we ended up walking, and she was like, this is a really good idea, and this is a powerful speech. And yeah, we do need to come together. We need to do better for our community and our people. I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds nice. I said, why don't y'all stop talking about it and do it? Why you gotta sit up here and chant and concentrate and think you gotta put yourself in a community session or circle in order to do what you're supposed to be doing? Why don't y'all just go ahead and do it? This was like six or 7 years ago. It's from now. It's 67 years ago, 6 or 7. I didn't say 60, 6 or 7 years ago. And you'll be surprised. And I know the community, and I'm not going to say no names. I'm not going to say where. But as a person who witnessed it, haven't did a doggone thing, but still talk to make them hear themselves talk, but yet still no schools, no owning their own library, not owning their own bank, don't own a piece of land. Everywhere I go, it's owned by a different culture and a different race, not them. So I'm saying you're laughable. You're a joke. I'm thinking to myself, so I was telling the truth at the time. But the girl at that point, when I said that, she looked at me strange, like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, I said, stop praying about it. Stop sitting here thinking it's some mystical secret of the universe. Why don't y'all take your wood, pieces of stone, beans, cakes, whatever you got, and do it? Just don't talk. You don't have to talk. Just do it. See, a man of power, let me tell you something. A man of power, a person of justified, they don't need to talk. They don't need to. The only reason why I'm doing this because I know this is a good way to convey the message to a lot of people. But other than that, talk is cheap. It's the most stupidest thing. Just like when you challenge somebody. Okay, when you're in the ring and somebody's yelling and beating on their chest and they screaming in your face, I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out. Don't say nothing. And the one who got their arms crossed like the Indian chief and looking at them, they don't say a word. They looking at them. The moment they swing and crack at them, it's over. The person who was yelling and talking stupid is down. Boom. You'd be like, dang, what happened? Not because they was talking jazz. That's the same as when you praying, when you thinking, oh, I'm going to do this. Let's do this for the community. We're going to do. Like, I'm like, come on, dude, you a joke. Hush your mouth. The moment you open up your mouth and tell me that you're going to do something, I immediately say, oh, you weak. You're done. Now you finished. No, you're not going to do it. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Do it. After you done did it, then you come around and be like, we got this over here. I made this establishment. Guess what? Across the street, you see that big campus over there? That's mine. I own it. And there are children in it right now. There are people over there right now. You be like, whoa, no, you joking. Oh, well, here's the paperwork right here. Oh, really? Yeah. I established it, so I wanted to wait to present it to you guys. Not sit there, we need to. Why talk to the deaf and dumb? Excuse me. Why would you stand there and talk to the deaf and dumb who don't want to hear you anyway? Why do you have to speak to a people who don't comprehend what it's really all about? It's not supposed to be about talking. It's supposed to be about talking. About action. I got an audio that's called All Talk and No Action. You need to check that out too. That's another reference. And that's a very, very powerful one. I'm not talking about one specific person. I'm not talking about a race. I'm not talking about a culture. In that, I'm talking about in every dynamic of your life. You need to check out that audio. That's a very powerful audio, and you can relate it to this. And you will really be empowered. I promise you. Now, when you be like, oh, goodness, I keep it raw and uncut. And you're going to be like, I see why Morpheus is Morpheus. I see. Like, dang, this dude takes the gloves off. I do, because I care about people. I care about the future. And when it comes to the future, I like busting my fist straight through the wall. The brick wall don't mean nothing to me. It don't mean nothing to me where people are scared. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm uncertain. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need you then. If you're unsure, you're uncertain, I don't need you. You're going to be a liability in my life. I need conscious, cautious, available, smart, logical, instinct, open-minded, and confident individuals. If you ain't that, get out of my face. Go somewhere else. Go on a different bus. Matter of fact, go to the back of the caboose. You go back there and you clean it up. I want the soldiers up in the front. I want those who's looking for a brighter future up here, because we can get some, not people who are sitting down on their knees praying to invincible Casper the friendly ghost. I need somebody who is the exact thing with their bare feet moving forward. Nonsense. So lay it down like that. Okay. However, when she looked at me crazy, right, she had a question. So what do you mean about that? We should just do it. I'm like, there's a bunch of talk. You just go ahead and just make it happen. Don't sit there and promise a kingdom. Don't promise life. Don't promise, what you want to do. Just do it. Okay, and there's an expression that people say, well, you got to educate the mind first before you educate the action, which is comprehensible. But at a certain amount of time, this is the 2020s. Okay, and I can actually fast forward the generation to now. 6 years ago, there was still knowledge then. Okay, there's still knowledge during that time. That was 2014. No excuse. No excuse. So therefore, at a certain amount of point in human evolution, you got enough information, you got enough pros and cons, you got enough idea. Why aren't you not doing it? That means you don't want to. That means you are speaking to a deaf and dumb crowd. I'm not talking about those who are, physically enabled by some type of bodily mutation or disease they have. They cause them to be deaf and dumb. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who got their ears, people who got their mouth, people who got their good senses, and they choose not to use it. They pretend to be deaf and dumb, so therefore they don't want to listen to logical movement or trying to be positive towards the future and put themselves aside and make the sacrifices that need to be done in order to bring in a positive new world. But no, we love the new world that we're in now. We love our mud. We love our failures, so we're not going to change it. We love the consequence of not providing a brighter future for our children, so we love it. So therefore, you're talking to a deaf and dumb crowd who really don't care, so you'll be wasting your time. Therefore, after a couple of sessions, if you don't get the memo, you're done. The ship is going to sail and leave you behind. I'm a zero tolerance individual. My policy is at zero. None. You get one chance only. Listen to my voice. You don't have to. You don't want to? Be gone. Poof. You're gone. Goodbye. Poof. I don't have time for it. Zero. Because my heart, my mind, my focus is on a child's future. It's for tomorrow. And if I don't cut and break down the wall and open up the door, they're going to suffer. And I have failed. Now, I went to one of the other meetings in a church. This was a funny Bible class night, as they call it, to study the indoctrination. God, how do you have one book that you're going to study from for a matter of years when common sense would tell you need like 4 or 5 different books that will probably pretty much debunk that one book, but you try to orchestrate it, which is called indoctrination by your programmed colleges that teach you how to indoctrinate people to be a well-trained Agent Smith, to use those words to manipulate the crowd, or in this case, the congregation, who are willing sheep. Okay. However, moving forward, dang, Morpheus, you swinging. Check this out. So there was this lady, and actually you thought there was another lady. I told you about that story, but this was a different one, who had a daughter, and they had a precondition in their family. The older woman she would have very, very bad migraines, and doctor couldn't figure it out. And she was also a little overweight. She was about 300 something pounds, and she needed relief. All right. That means she was carrying too much on her body, and it was too much strain on her heart. So she would always go up there for prayer that God would help her lose weight. You'd think, okay, that's, okay. But the daughter herself was on the age of obesity, and she wasn't, 8, 9 years old. The daughter was like, 21, 22 years old, and she had scraggly hair. So she would always pray for a good husband. But she's, her hair was wild, and she looked very homely. I appreciate women who wear dresses. If you wear a dress, that's, to me, that's an automatic 5 stars there. You can be busted coming from South, I ain't gonna go there. You can be coming from the most craziest part of earth, but you've got to dress. I'm like, you know what? Good job. High five on that one. Okay. But there's more to it than that, though. There's more to it than that. Okay. They think, oh, this is a part of religion. No, it should be a part of life. You don't have to be modest just because you're religious to do it. You should be modest because it's you to be modest. It's your integrity. You don't need nobody to tell you, oh, I'm in this system or this group of people, so I need to act the part. That means you're not really who you are. Dress how you want to dress. Be truly you. That means you're fake. You're doing it because somebody told you to do it. Oh, I'm dressing like this because the organization said, oh, you fake. Go on home. Go home. I need you to do this because you are honest and you have integrity to do it, because you love dressing like that, because you want to be modest, because that's just who you are. Genuine, which we don't have a lot of anymore.